Denver leads, and Denver kicks off. Steinfort bangs it, and is taken by Art Whittington. And Whittington out to the 23-yard line, where Oakland will have the first possession of this second half. Earlier at halftime, let's take a look at Jim Otto receiving his Hall of Fame ring, inducted this past summer, and one of the true great players.
Exactly what I wanted to bring up. The presentation made to him, of course, by Pete Elliott. Oakland said to the fans, I want the Raiders to stay in Oakland.
He went on to point out, don't demonstrate here, demonstrate in front of the city council, in front of the other authorities. And there was a smattering of boos for Jim Otto, a great favorite, and of course the Hall of Famers. We watched Kenny King pick up a couple of yards out to the 25-yard line. It'll be second down and 8. Feelings running high here in Oakland.
Oakland had its scoring opportunities in the first quarter. They blew 3 of them. In the second quarter, they had only 1 first down as Greg Morton assumed command.
Second down and 8. Van Egan 30, Kenny King 33. The setbacks for number 16, Jim Plunkett. Here's Kenny King, and Kenny King just smashing forward, short of the first down, but a great effort by this second-year man out of Oklahoma, getting out over the 32-yard line, about a yard short, maybe less than a yard short of the first down.
You see him go head on with Rob Nairn. Let's watch this. And Nairn is, there's Kenny King. Says, wait a minute.
He looked like a Bronco.
Boy, he did. But Nairn's no slouch at all. Good linebacker to inside. Kenny King made him head on.
Oh, a fine block by the Oakland Raiders center Dave Dalby, number 50. Third, less than a yard. 2 tight ends are in. Derek Brandon's 84, Raymond Chester 88. Cliff Branch, single wide receiver, split far to the left. Play action. Plunkett hangs it up for Branch. And Branch will get an interference call, and it'll work against Aaron Kyle, who had him man-for-man coverage.
It was not a good pass, but Plunkett got away with it. Why? Because Branch is what Branch is. He had position. Watch.
That's Reuben Carter, who gave a little pressure in there. Aaron Kyle just goes over, didn't make body contact. Aaron Kyle is trying to respect that speed that Branch has. He moved to the outside. Not a good play to come out on the inside.
Experience, too. Watch Branch keep his body well in front of the ball and makes Aaron Kyle go for it.
That's what you call position.
F. Branch out of Houston, Texas, University of Colorado.
38-yard pickup on that penalty. Oakland has the ball inside the 31-yard line of Denver. Kenny King sprinting to the outside and gets down to the 25-yard line, tripped up by Bill Thompson, but he gets 5.5 yards out of it. It'll be second and 5.
Pardon me, Frank. I think you're right, Dandy. This is the best acquisition Oakland has made. With all of its reclamation projects, King was of a different nature. A young player that he had wanted from the beginning.
I think you're right. I've never seen this much of that goop put on in my life.
Fred Biletnikoff used it that way.
But not that much, Frank. That's got to be against the law, isn't it?
Well, it sure is messy. Yuck on the laundry. That's called stickum, like pine tar. Kenny King, right side, inside the 20. Down to the 19, first down, Oakland.
To compliment what you're saying about Kenny King is the fact that he goes to the inside. We saw him to the outside, back into the inside again. So he's got all of those moves.
King stays on the turf and shaken up. You see Reggie Jackson, who has joined us here in the booth. Served a lot of time here in the Oakland Alameda Coliseum. Great to see you, Reg. Got a commercial. We'll be back and have a word with you. Back in Oakland. First down and 10. Kenny King walked off the field, appeared to be all right. Stepped out of the lineup. And Art Whittington, number 22, the speedster from SMU, the smaller of the Oakland setbacks, is in there. Ball at the 19-yard line. Whittington cuts back against the grain, and the little one gets to the 10-yard line. He'll be short of a first down, I do believe, by maybe inches, taken there by Tom Jackson. But now they mark it short of the 10-yard line. So it'll be second down and about 1.5 yards. Underway here in the second half. The big play, the pass interference, Aaron Kyle against Cliff Branch. Oakland has been down here before, however, in the first half a couple of times. They could not get on the scoreboard. Van Egan, left side, gets the first down.
Here we are. Here's the big man.
And Oakland, a first and goal, the ball near the 8-yard line. Remember, the first half, they had a first and goal at the 6. Plunkett on a rollout. He ought to be able to run it in. He did it. Jim Plunkett rolling out and runs into the corner of the end zone. Tom Jackson pulled him down from behind, but Plunkett gets in, and Oakland is on the scoreboard, and they take the lead.
He had Big Joe Campbell. You see Greg Boyd, number 77, read it, but he read it a little bit late. He's trying to come back on the outside. Plunkett says, let's just get it in gear and go the best I can. Number 57 is Jackson, is the guy that makes the move there. Holy, they're trying to say you didn't make it, but he did.
You had to wonder when they were going to capitalize.
Out comes Chris Bahr for the conversion, and that extra dimension that Plunkett gives a football team, the ability to move around, run the football, has put Oakland on the scoreboard.
Oh, he missed it.
I don't believe it.
Chris Bahr misses the conversion. Earlier, he had missed a chip shot field goal from 36 yards out. And that makes an interesting set of numbers on the scoreboard. The Oakland Raiders leading the Denver Broncos 6-3. We'll be returning to Oakland in just a moment. Chris Bahr hooks it on the conversion attempt. Missing the conversion. Oakland has the lead 6-3. Bahr set to kick off. Deep is Larry Brunson, who a year ago was returning kickoffs for the Oakland Raiders. As a matter of fact, led the NFL a year ago for the Raiders in this department. This will be Larry Brunson. Brunson hurdles out over the 30-yard line. It'll be first and 10 for Denver at the 31-yard line. We have another special guest Howard wants to have a word with.
All right, here is young Mike.
To go on, so I learned from them.
Okay, Mike. Good to have you with us. Frank.
On first down, Jim Jensen gets around the corner, out to the 36-yard line. Jensen with a gain of 5 yards, taken there by Mike Davis defensively for the Oakland Raiders. It'll be second down and 5. Now they mark it up over the 36, so we'll call it second down 4.
Test here, of course, is for Craig Morton to reassume offensive momentum in the face of the score just achieved by the Raiders.
Rob Lytle comes in for Denver, number 41. Former great All-American from Michigan. Knee surgery a year ago and troubles again with the other knee this year. Second and 4. Denver at their 37. This is Lytle on a screen. Beautiful defensive play. The Oakland Raiders reading it perfectly. It was Rod Martin just hammering through a Denver Bronco block. Tom Glassick was out there trying to get a block on Rod Martin. He ran right through it.
Pretty good example of going to the well too many times. They've run these screens several times tonight. If they're going to continue to run them, give them a different look. They can run several different kinds of screens. But Rod Martin, along with a couple of other Oakland defenders, had that one read perfect.
Loss of 6. It'll be third down and 10. Underway here in the third quarter. Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell. Don Meredith watching a very important game for both the Oakland Raiders to win tonight. They move back into a tie with San Diego in the AFC West. On third and 10, it flies out of the hands of quarterback Craig Morton. Rick Upchurch was down there, but that just took off, and Craig Morton is slow getting up.
And you can understand it. There were 3 Raiders on him. That fierce pass rush we've talked about. Here's the end of the play, Don.
Well, they are getting there a little bit late. This is Browning coming through. On the other side, these are the designated pass rushers, as we've talked to them about before. Willie Jones was number 90 coming into the inside. That new penalty is a tough one to call as to when the quarterback is protected and when he isn't. Evidently, that was not one of the times he was protected.
Evidently. Press rate just low off the side of his foot, and Iron Matthews watches it roll and trickle closer to the Oakland goal. And now it's blown dead inside the 28-yard line, and that will be Oakland's possession. We're in the third quarter with 9:03 remaining. Oakland leading Denver 6-3. We're back in Oakland, and the Oakland Raiders now in command at 6-3. Have a 1st and 10, the ball at their own 27-yard line. Sellout crowd, the first sellout crowd for the Oakland Raiders this year. Kenny King hesitates.
Oh, he made a good move.
Across field. Bill Thompson is there for Denver, but not until Kenny King gets out over the 35 to the 37-yard line, close to an Oakland Raider 1st down. And Kenny King is having himself a night.
Beautiful ball player.
Bill Thompson picked the wrong time to swing Kenny King around. You don't do it over on the sideline in front of that bench. He was just shaken up a little while ago. He is running back in, and the report is he's okay.
Up to 85 yards now, having himself a beautiful night.
Tom Jackson was a linebacker on that last play, overran the play. Kenny King was designed to go to his left. Saw Jackson coming in, took a step to the inside, and came back with really on his own. The play was not designed to go on this side.
King steps out for a breather. Art Whittington is in, number 22. The 1st down, 37-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. And off is Whittington. Whittington hammered there over the line of scrimmage. First man there, Randy Gradishar. He got help from Larry Evans, number 56. Gain of a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
As you can see from the graphic we just showed you, Oakland has been a second-half team. I swear there are 12 of these guys. I see them everywhere.
Euchre has got a franchise.
I saw Gene Upshaw that time. Didn't make much yardage, but Whittington knew what to do. He was sticking right behind Upshaw. So many times you see those backs try to get too far away. They know where to stay. Stay close to the big guy.
Raider backs have been doing that for 14 years with Gene Upshaw. 2nd and 9. Plunkett puts one into orbit way over the intended receiver, Cliff Branch. Double coverage on Branch, and Plunkett just throwing it away. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Goodyear, Blimp, Columbia. By the way, it'll take upon wins to get the Columbia down to Los Angeles. In case you're interested.
They'll get there.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll be there in time for Dan Devine's last regular season coaching game at Notre Dame.
3rd down 9. The Oakland Raiders up their own 38. And they come with a draw play. Art Whittington. And Whittington scrambling and battling close to the 1st down. He might be a half a yard short. Rob Nairn, 58, made the stop for Denver. And it does appear as if Whittington, on a good call, by the way, Denver thinking totally pass, comes up about a half a yard or maybe a full yard short of the 1st.
Oakland disagrees with the officials' location of the football, but they'll have to accept it.
And out trots Ray Guy. He's ran the ball a couple of times for 1st downs for the Oakland Raiders. And he's 1 for 1 in the passing department. Of course, the Denver Broncos, well aware of those numbers on the part of Ray Guy. They'll be very alert for any chicanery as Rick Upchurch settles in at the 10-yard line for Denver. Ray Guy looking for a sideline kick, and he gets another beauty. The 2nd time tonight that Ray Guy has put the ball out at the 11-yard line. And the 1st time he did it with a 53-yard effort. This one, a 43-yard effort. We'll be back in a moment. 7:03 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and it's Oakland 6-3 over the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos 7-5, and the Oakland Raiders 8-4. San Diego leading this division. Looking on tonight, San Diego 9-4. 1st and 10, 11-yard line of the Denver Broncos, and here comes Dave Preston. And Preston works his way up for about a 4-yard pickup. Give him 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. And right now, we were talking about Heisman Award winner George Rogers from South Carolina. That being announced today, we'd like to also welcome WPDE Channel 15 in Florence, South Carolina, to our ABC affiliate family. Welcome aboard, guys. 2nd down, 7. Ball inside the 15-yard line of the Denver Broncos, who have really not generated a great deal of offense themselves tonight. Oakland moving back and forth between their 20s. And this is Dave Preston, and Preston out to about the 19-yard line. He'll be short of the 1st down by a couple, maybe 3. Preston, a free agent in '78 for the Denver Broncos after he was cut by New England in '77. Here he is. Earlier, I mentioned problems with the collapsed lung earlier in the year, but he's rebounded nicely. Third down 2.
Takes a lot of guts for that, too. He's got gizzard.
Watson in motion. This is Preston. And Preston gets the first down and more as he moves over the 25 out to the close to the 26-yard line.
Interesting call, and they had the flanker back in motion coming back in, and instead of going across the line, he stopped in and blocked that time on Ted Hendricks. So if you get an extra man on Ted Hendricks, you're doing all right.
But a very important series as Craig has now negotiated himself into a position where he can begin to operate with the pass.
Some of that goop that you saw Lester Hayes' arms and legs is now on that ball out there.
I'll tell you, quarterbacks hate that, don't
I always, it's just, can't stand it.
Receivers and defenders. I've never seen a defender like Lester Hayes put so much of it on him. Receivers will use it. Oddly enough, you get grass and dirt on it, and it becomes slippery. On first down, Morton dumps it to Jensen, and Jensen puts it up in the arms of Rod Martin, interception Oakland.
I can't believe that. That is unreal.
Bobbles the ball, and Rod Martin very alert. There, and you see the dejection on the part of Craig Morton as Oakland has great field position inside the 30-yard line of Denver.
Well, he had an interception earlier. This is his third tonight, but the first one also went through the arms of Riley Odom, but this one was caught, it appears, by Jensen. Takes a couple of steps, pulls it back around and says, wait a minute, you handle that thing. It's too hot for me.
Probably will be ruled an interception because Jensen never had control of it, and that will go down in Curley's record. Of course, Craig unhappy with it.
Well, that's really critical right there.
Inside the 29-yard line, the ball is marked. 4:54 remaining in the third quarter. Oakland leading 6-3. Plunkett gives the ball to King, and King gets to the 25-yard line. Taken there after a pickup of 3 by Tom Jackson. It'll be second down and 7. There's Rod Martin.
He was at the right place at the right time.
Well, he's an interesting story, like a lot of Oakland stories. Drafted by Oakland in '77, they cut him. San Francisco also cut him that year. Then Oakland re-signed him that year. And now he's a fine starting outside linebacker. That was, we understand, ruled a fumble. So that one will not go down in Craig's book. Second down 7. Plunkett. Grant. And Grant taken there by Rob Nairn. And Aaron Kyle also in on the play defensively for Denver. And the game is down to about the 21-yard line. Short of the first down. It'll be third down and 2.
Big John Medusa. Too small for this game, as Don said.
He doesn't look mean either, does he?
6'8", 280. Let me tell you, he's a great reclamation story. He had a lot of personal problems, cleaned them all up, dedicated now.
And he said, hi, Dad. I like that. You don't do that too often. Hi, Dad.
Third down, a little more than 2 to go for the first down as Denver is stiffening. Denver on the blitz. Plunkett. Conley fires the ball. Complete. Art Whittington is there. And it's going to be very close to a first down. Larry Evans came out defensively. Crowd is already anticipating it will be short of the first down. They are chanting, go for it, and that's exactly what the Oakland Raiders, Tom Flores, decides to do. Sending in Derek Ramsey, the extra tight end.
Especially after what's happened to Bahr tonight. Missing a 31-yard chippy and then, unbelievably, a point after.
Fourth and less than 1. 2:45 remaining in the third quarter. The clock is moving. Oakland leading 6-3. Christensen in motion. Right side, and Kenny King will not get the first down. The ball ripped loose, but it had been blown dead. Now a flag goes down.
Say, they pulled Kenny King back pretty good. That flag might be for a late hit of some sort.
And it's being indicated by one of the Raiders. The penalty is going to go against the Denver Broncos. And the Raider remains on the turf.
That's Kenny King that's still down there, Frank. And there's the referee's signal. Personal foul, first against Denver. I believe they had stopped him short of the first down, too.
Oh, well short of the first down. And scrambled to pull the ball out. Personal foul was committed. And Kenny King shaken once again. Our referee tonight, Red Caution, his crew. These are tough games as we get down to the wire. After tonight, only 3 games remaining throughout the entire NFL, and battles are wide open in all divisions. And of course, we're going to see one very critical one Thursday night when we see the Steelers move into Houston to play the Oilers. Both of them a game back of Cleveland, and Kenny King is being carried off by teammates.
And what you're saying right now is very critical for the Oakland Raiders for the remainder of the season and the playoffs.
If he is hurt,
they can't do it without that man. We'll get a report as quickly as we can.
Personal foul moves the ball inside the 10-yard line of the Denver Broncos. It'll be first down, goal to go.
I think this is the most organized crowd I have ever seen. We couldn't tell at the beginning how many were effectuating the 5-minute boycott. But now we can tell you from the placards, many, many were.
Whittington piled up. Hit at the line of scrimmage.
It was Rob Bahr that kind of came under, submarined under the blockers there, knocked some of the linemen's feet out from under him. And therefore he didn't have a place to go, Arthur Whittington.
They're checking the left knee of Kenny King.
I might say this about Nairn, Don, in the absence of the very great Bob Swenson, underpublicized though he is, Rob Nairn has shown himself to be very competent against the run.
Second and goal, and there was a loss of about a half a yard on that last play. Plunkett will put it up. Can't find the receiver. And now Plunkett will run and gets to about the 8-yard line. They'll probably mark it at the 9 as Rob Nairn back defensively moved up and was there to corral Plunkett.
You talk about hearing footsteps. Plunkett did then, I'll tell you.
Well, it appeared to me that in the beginning of the play, they were trying to work the left side of their offensive line. They had a man-for-man coverage, but on the snap of the ball, the linebackers drifted over that way. I think Plunkett, I don't know what that is. You name it, Howard, you can have it.
I'll tell you something. Denver really, they get tough down there inside their 20-yard line. The Raiders have moved up and down the field, but they have had trouble getting in.
Glenn Madden always raved about Denver's short yardage defense.
Third and goal. Plunkett to the air.
Well, he's got some time this time.
Fires in and out of the end zone, incomplete. Going down there, intended for Bob Chandler, and out comes a young man who really must be feeling the heat. Chris Bahr missed that chip shot field goal, missed a conversion, and here he is. Chris Bahr, of course, with Cincinnati a year ago. Brother Matt Bahr with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And like his brother, out of Penn State. 26-yard attempt. Bob Chandler's the holder. Chandler gets it down. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Oh, that could destroy someone. A 31-yard effort he missed, a 26-yard effort he missed, and a conversion. He is perfect on the night.
Unwittingly, he has kept Denver in this football game.
Reuben Jones kind of lost his head there for a while with excitement.
Matt Bahr in total disbelief. We'll be back. Yes, they're like baseball managers. They turn up everywhere. And this man was kicking for Cincinnati a year ago. They let him go, brought in 3 kickers. They now have Oakland's field goal kicker of a year ago. And Bahr is here and hurting tonight. On first down, Keyworth with a couple of yards out to the 22. It'll be 2nd and 8. Denver Broncos still in this football game.
Miraculously.
They ought to award a special medal to Red Miller.
Well, it's somebody, or maybe Chris Bahr. Somebody, I don't know what it is. They have not been able to. They've gotten a lot of the breaks. Some strange things have happened. Denver just keeps plugging along out there. See the clock wind down in the third quarter.
Rob Lytle in, number 41, setback for Denver. Play action by Morton, trying to slow the pass rush. And in and out of the hands of Rick Upchurch, incomplete. Wayne Osteen covering, but again, you saw the pressure, and I don't know, Morton is hearing a lot of footsteps around him. He has very little time to get that ball off.
I think you get into a rhythm of throwing the ball quickly. You see Kenny King on the sideline. Again, we haven't received any definite word on
Well, we know it's his left ankle.
Yeah, but okay, left ankle.
We don't know what's wrong with it, but we know it's the left ankle.
It's certainly better than the left knee. Third down, 8. Preston now split out to the left. Number 46. Watson split to the right. And on 3rd and 8, draw play, hoping the trap would spring their running back John Keyworth, with Oakland thinking pass. It did not do so. It'll be 4th down, and Kenny King is being carried to the locker room as time expires in the 3rd quarter, and Oakland leads Denver 6-3. We'll return to this work from local station. Sideline warming up Matt Robinson. Of course, Matt Robinson came to the Broncos for a number 1 and a number 2 round draft pick from the New York Jets. Started the first 6 games, 1 touchdown, 10 interceptions. A bit of an emotionally shattering experience, but he still figures to be the quarterback of the future for the Denver Broncos. On 4th down, the Broncos will kick. Luke Prestridge is in. Ira Matthews at his own 40-yard line for Oakland. He doesn't turn over, a short kick. Matthews from his 45. Nailed there, close to midfield, hurdling over a blocker, Maurice Harvey. 33-yard punt.
Once again, superb field position for the Oakland Raiders.
I'd like to remind you, tonight on ABC News Nightline, Peter Jennings from London examines the ongoing crisis in Northern Ireland, immediately following your local news over most of these ABC stations. ABC News Nightline. Ball marked at the 49-yard line in Oakland, as Howard mentioned, has had great field position all night. Their difficulty is getting it in. They've had a 1st and goal from the 6. They've had 2 first and goals from the 11, and yet they have 6 points on the scoreboard. 1 touchdown and a missed conversion. Plunkett on 1st down. The blitz is on, and the screen, it's a call. It's a good one against the blitz. Van Egan. All the way to the 30, and what a time to have the screen on when the blitz is coming.
If you can pull it off, you sure got it, because the linebackers are back there rushing the quarterback. Again, it's flipped out to Van Egan. Little play action fake. Lawrence blocking up at the inside. Plunkett drops it back. Jackson couldn't make his way through. Look at Bill Thompson trying to stop right here. Bill says that's too much for me, and Van Egan rolls on for another 4 or 5 yards.
Radishar and Nairn were both in the pass rush. They could not help Jackson. He had 2 blockers. He could not make the play. 1st down, Oakland, inside the 30-yard line of the Denver Broncos. Plunkett has to reach to hand the ball to Van Egan, and then Van Egan hustles down to the 25, and Denver is saying fumble. Tipper is beginning to tighten.
You know, when you look at the 3rd quarter stats, you can see the difference, as Oakland did recover the football, apparently. 4 turnovers for the Broncos, none for the Raiders. Look at that. That's the key statistic.
Pickup of a little more than 4 yards. 2nd down and 6, the ball at the 25-yard line. Chandler split out to the right. Out to the left, the speedster, Cliff Branch. The tight end is Raymond Chester, number 88. And Chandler switched up on Plunkett. He hooked up, seeing the double coverage, and Plunkett just laid it up. And Chandler, looking back at Plunkett, saying, well, we don't have it together, guy. 3rd down and a long 5. And each time Oakland gets in to Denver territory, they start to falter.
They have done little with the pass tonight, and now they must count on Van Egan to make up for the loss of King.
Plunkett 9 of 18 on the night. Stays on the ground. Art Whittington. And it'll be 4th down, and I would not want to be Matt Bahr when he comes out onto the field, or rather Chris Bahr. And he's welcomed by the Raider fans. He missed from 31, he missed from 26, he missed a conversion.
He was too close. That's what it was. He's going to get it back a little bit and kick this one about, what, 40... 2 or 3 yards, something
You may
like that.
turn out to be right.
He was too close on those others. That's all there was to
The
it.
history of place kickers anyway is a zany thing in this league. Frank could tell you a story about Jim Breach and the Cincinnati Bengals.
He used to kick right here in Oakland only a year ago. 43-yard attempt. Chris Bahr, Matt's little brother, holding his breath. Sanders puts it down.
There you go.
So Oakland has a 9-3 lead. 13:06 remaining in the game. A vital game for both ball clubs. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And is the speed. Now, Kenny King has gone into the locker room with a damaged ankle. His knee was being checked. And Art Whittington is up, moving around, appears to be all right. A little more than 13 minutes remaining in the game. Oakland 9, Denver 3. Chris Bahr to kick off. Larry Brunson from his 4-yard line. And Brunson almost pops it, getting out close to the 33, and a flag is down.
Larry Brunson took that kick at the 4-yard line.
Larry Brunson, I mentioned earlier, was returning kickoffs for the Oakland Raiders a year ago.
Penalty marker on the play.
You would think that Denver, they look almost snake bit every time they get something going. Has a good run back. Now they're going to put them back another 10 yards. They've had some tough luck on some interceptions, some fumbles.
Kick back about 28 yards, which will be nullified by the penalty.
And this will be a get-together down there. Either one of those teams could just blow themselves right out of that tough AFC Central Division race. Cleveland, Brian Sipe, and the troops hanging in there, proving they are definitely for real. They're in first place.
You're right. These Steelers and Oilers, the guy that loses down there Thursday, they're going to have a hard time making that playoff with six losses.
And when you consider Oakland's record, and speaking in terms of wild card, with Oakland's record, you've got New England in there, you've got a lot of teams with good records. Sellout crowd, standing defense as Morton goes up and fires it out complete to Dave Preston. And then he gets little, maybe a yard and a half or a couple, and Rod Martin playing a superb game tonight, that outside linebacker for the Raiders.
And he got a superb break when the ball was bobbled right into his arms by Jensen. One of those snake bit stories of Don.
That's it. They didn't pick up much there. They're trying to get him out on the outside, get that 1-for-1 tackle in the open field, which we've talked about many times, very difficult to do. That time Rod Martin was there and was up to the task.
Ball, as you can see, just over the 17-yard line of the Broncos. Second down and 8. Ron Egloff, 85, an extra tight end, comes in. Don Keyworth rolling over the left side, out over the 21. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
They just can't afford, even though a touchdown and an extra point is all they need to move ahead. You don't want to kill time this way.
I think in a way Denver's offense is designed. I've seen them do it several times tonight. They're designed to pick up more 3rd downs and 5s than they are 3rd downs and 8s. Like a lot of times they would run on that 2nd and long. They've done that a lot tonight, trying to pick up the 4 or 5 yards.
Greg Morton is looking over the pass rush, so he decides to run the ball. This is Upchurch. And Upchurch, he will be short of the 1st down at the 25-yard line. Monty Jackson, who played sparingly tonight, is shaken up. Upchurch short of the 1st down.
Sometimes you get the feeling, as I said in the Denver-New England game, that Denver plays for a fumble.
Mike Davis again, who was shaken up, not Ronnie Jackson, and this is the second time tonight that Davis has had to leave the field. And out comes Luke Prestridge on 4th down. Ira Matthews will settle in somewhere back around his 35-yard line. Here he is. Had a nifty return earlier in the game. Led the nation a couple of years ago at the University of Wisconsin, where he averaged nearly 17 yards a return and had 3 touchdowns for the University of Wisconsin in his career, all over 50 yards. So he can bring it back. Prestridge gets the kind you run back, a low one.
And there he goes.
Matthews to the 36-yard line.
Oh, boy.
No flags.
Ira is producing the night, as the gift said earlier, the way they planned for him to produce when they drafted. Big return. Once again, great field position for Oakland. We'll be back in a moment.
Numbers on the night. Not devastating, but we mentioned at the top of the show, he has had trouble in the last 4 games after being spectacular in his first 3 starts.
Sure has. Subtract 27 yards lost because of 3 sacks from that 78. You got very little.
1st and 10, Oakland. Inside Denver's 37-yard line. Good return. Ira Matthews setting it up. Mark Van Egan, right side, behind the blocks of Henry Lawrence and Mickey Marvin. Gain of 3 in the 2nd down and 7.
For a team that's been sputtering and staggering offensively, Oakland somehow hangs in there, and their defense clearly has been exceptional. Witness that 10-7 loss against a team so fine as the Eagles in the wake of a Monday night game against Seattle when they had to cross the country to play Philadelphia.
2nd down, 7. Plunkett now working a little bit, I would suspect, on the clock, handing the ball to Mark Van Egan. Gets inside the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Defensively there, number 66, Bryson Manor, number 53, Randy Gradishar.
Well, they've apparently found a field goal range that Bahr can handle. Under the Meredith theory,
they don't want to get in too
distance.
close.
Yeah.
Now, that just makes sense to me. You know, I mean, sometimes those 3-foot putts are a lot tougher than the 8-foot putts.
Not for me.
Oh, I see.
Marked at the 29. 3rd down, long 2. Plunkett got him. Chandler, who was in a foot race with Lewis Wright, and one that's hard to win.
Well, he had him by a step and a half, but he overthrew.
I'll tell you, Wright played that pretty well. He got close to the end zone. He was inside of Chandler, not behind him where he was going to foul. Louis Wright himself has been troubled, as many of these Broncos have, with an injury. He missed last week with an eye injury. We've got 4th down, and Chris Bahr, who has been interesting tonight, to say the least. Made good on his last field goal, officially for 44 yards out.
Almost exactly the same place.
This will be 47 yards. Chandler, the holder. On its way. Hooking it left. And so Denver will take over. They'll have the ball at their own 29-yard line. And we want to remind you once again, college football coming your way on Saturday, the final week of the regular college football season. And we've got a national doubleheader that'll begin 12 o'clock Eastern time. Florida goes against Florida State, and they really get it on that one. Of course, Florida State ranked number 3 in the nation. Good matchup. And then the second part of that doubleheader, USC against Notre Dame, and they've been doing that for longer than I can remember. Most people that follow the game. College football over most of these ABC stations on Saturday. On 1st down. Over the middle, and it's complete to John Keyworth. They'll mark it at the 34-yard line. A gain of 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Almost incredible the way Denver has stayed in this game. Now if Creek can muster one drive, put them over.
I would think that as many things as they've had that really have not worked for them tonight, that's really true, because honestly they are just they're a touchdown away from getting right back in. I really am disappointed in Oakland's futility to be able to put points on the board, whether it's Bahr or whether they should have scored some touchdowns.
Terrible night for Plunkett. Terrible.
2nd and 4 at Denver's 34-yard line. Rob Lytle on the screen. Gets away from one. Raider fumbles the ball, and Oakland has it.
Well,
and I guess who? Ted Hendricks. His second recovery of the night, but he's been doing that for 12 years.
He's always where the ball is. It never changes.
Craig Morton, and not really a victim of his own play tonight.
No, he should feel disgusted.
Well, they've just had something like this on every play. I don't know how you even talk about it. Rob Lytle's got a guy that makes a pretty good move right here to get out and trying to switch the play. Switch the ball. It appeared that was, I didn't see who that was out there.
I think it's Rod Martin.
Did Martin knock it out?
Rod Martin fought off the block, took the ball away, and Ted Hendricks got it. 34-yard line. Raiders again. Mark Van Egan.
Now what you're going to really have to look for when Chris Bahr comes out here again. Now they didn't quite have the distance the time before. They were 5 yards to. They need 5 more yards. Now they're about down there.
Van Egan
second down.
Gets his 5 yards. 2nd down and 5.
Getting to be boring.
Thing has become funny. Look at the turnovers. There's the real difference.
Ball resting at the 29-yard line. Less than 9 minutes remaining in the game. Van Egan. He holds on to that football, too. He's not the type of running back who gives it up. He gets a yard and a half. It'll be 3rd down and 3. And there is Ted Hendricks. He is something different.
Hi, big guy. You've been doing it since you helped Baltimore win the Super Bowl of 1970.
Came up in 69. He is playing his 171st consecutive game tonight.
3rd and 2 and 26.
He's had 2 fumble recoveries tonight, 3 interceptions on the year. Do something. 3rd and 3, and Jensen gets the 1st down for Oakland.
The last time they did get it, Frank, barring flags. We don't see any.
Chris Bahr might breathe a sigh of relief.
Well, the Bengals had Jim Breach, then they got rid of him. They went through how many? 3 field goals?
No, I think Breach is there now. They had 2 others they went through earlier in the year. And Breach, of course, was with Oakland last year.
That's
Chris
right.
Bahr was with Cincinnati. Place kickers really are like baseball managers. They land on their feet.
If they're Billy Morton, they do.
They just have to keep packed. And I think I touched on it earlier. It was Fred Steinfort, who originally, now kicking for Denver, originally was drafted by Oakland.
Well, Oakland had Bernersky. He's now kicking for San Diego.
Get yourself a lot of fancy luggage and keep it packed.
Jim Turner still in retirement. Houston sure could have used him yesterday.
1st and 10 Oakland, 23-yard line of the Broncos. Van Egan, right side, behind Mickey Marvin and Henry Lawrence. And that right side of the Oakland line is beginning to come along and match the great play of the left side in Art Shell and Gene Upshaw. And Mark Van Egan is having shoulder pad problem. And in comes Derek Jensen.
You made a very subtle but very important point, Frank, about the right side of the Oakland line. The answer is lodged in Mickey Marvin and Henry Lawrence.
There was a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Inside handoff, and Whittington apparently all right. He gets about a half a yard out of this, and it's going to be 3rd and long for Plunkett. And it's very important for the Oakland Raiders to hang up this 3 points, because they are a touchdown and a conversion from being behind in this game. They lead at the moment 9-3.
And less than 6.5 minutes left. The clock working at this point clearly for Oakland. But they got a long yardage situation here.
3rd and a little more than 7. Chandler goes out to the right and confronts Louis Wright, the cornerback for Denver, and Cliff Branch is split to the left. And that was going to be a reverse, and it was bobbled by Whittington. He could not get the ball to Chandler, and you will never see a reverse setup any better.
It really was. But the thing is, they recovered that fumble, so they've still got another shot at that field goal.
Chris Bahr.
He's all right now. He's back in that area. That's where he can get them from.
He's missed the conversion. He's missed from 31. He's missed from 26. He's missed from 47. He's been successful from 44.
All right, that's where he is. All right.
You folks believe this game?
Don't tell him he's at 43. That's it. He'll do it right there.
All he needs is a mild hook, not too much.
Here it comes.
Good put it out of reach for Denver on a touchdown and conversion.
Whoops. Nope, I was wrong. I'm sorry. Bless his heart.
That's awful.
That is awful.
Wow. Chris Bahr, and that hurts. We'll be back in a moment.
I hope.
If we told you our car
Is storming. I'm beginning to wonder after this display tonight if the fans still want to save their Raiders.
Tough night for young Chris Bahr. He's missed 4 field goals, all well within range. Denver has the ball once again. 1st and 10, their own 25, and still a touchdown and a conversion away from the lead. Flags fly. A procedure call, and it'll go against Denver.
I swear, Denver.
I don't believe it.
Denver's done everything but put points literally on the board for Oakland tonight. And then they do that before it's over. I don't know.
No, they can win this game still.
It's kind of a Denver way of winning a game, too. They do a lot of this, and they have under Red Miller. They're an opportunistic ball club. They hang in there. They hang in there. Those are the games remaining, of course. One of the key items, should this thing come down to a tie with San Diego with either of these ball clubs, both Denver and Oakland have already split with San Diego. The next tie-breaking procedure is percentage of games won and lost within the division.
Oakland's got 2 toughies left.
But the thing about it, Denver, their remaining games are all against teams in their division. 1st and 15. Martin. Oh, he's manhandled by Reggie Kinlaw. Back to the 9-yard line. Here's a man that has really come on, a 12th round draft pick. He literally has beaten out Dave Bahr, a former Pro Bowler, at that middle nose guard position.
And when you beat out Dave Bahr, you beat out a man who was one of the most highly regarded players in the league. Who had been with Tampa. There's the replay, and look at Kinlaw.
Kinlaw was there. Matt Millen again from the middle linebacker caused some confusion in that offensive line. They really don't look too sharp out there right now.
2nd down and 23 as they mark the ball where Morton was taken by Kinlaw to the 12-yard line. Flags are down. A Raider appeared to be offside. Morton has a free play to John Keyworth, complete. Keyworth taken at the 19-yard line. And it did appear that an Oakland Raider was offside. Rod Martin again defensively for Oakland, and Martin is playing himself a game tonight. Here's a call. Referee Red Cashin. They've been busy tonight. Indicated. And I'm sure will be marched off to 5 yards to keep the down, the 2nd down.
Another game that this message is very applicable to, and I must say it quickly, as this telecast really and truly is presented by the authority of the National Football League, and it's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited.
I bet Chris Bahr would like a cassette.
Yeah, Chris, you can't use this for any home movies, anything like that, unless you get permission, of course.
Penalty. Offsides. Oakland. 2nd down, 18. Ball up to 17, and Morton will go to the air. Morton. And Rick Upchurch holds on.
Nice
out
catch,
close
Rick.
to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Dwayne Osteen defensively there for the Raiders.
It's just a good catch. He was pretty good coverage back there. The ball's thrown right in. Upchurch has a way of holding on to it. Oh, almost got there.
I'll tell you, that's some guts. He knew he was going to get pounded.
He really did. That was Dwayne Osteen, number 35, coming in.
Almost a face mask. Meantime, we're down to 4 minutes left to play.
How about the old reverse that we saw? The little screen out to Upchurch. Remember earlier? It's not time for that.
Anything but the flea flicker.
Let's put the flea back into the flicker.
3rd and 10. The ball resting just short of the 25-yard line. Craig would like to have a chance to talk it over with Red Miller. Did not like defensively what he was observing. So he uses a timeout and moves over to the bench. And not, again, necessarily in a big hurry. Great schedule coming up. We have Miami, New England a week from tonight. Houston and Pittsburgh on Thursday
Hope
night.
it gets warmer. Getting a little chilly.
Dallas and Los Angeles. And, of course, we close out with Pittsburgh and San Diego. 3rd down and 10 for the Broncos. Ball right up to the 25-yard line. 3:48 remaining in the game, and Craig Morton will be in the shotgun.
They don't work on that a lot.
Shotgun went off prematurely.
You can only do so much in a week's practice.
Procedure call, Denver.
I know. It's just been one of those things you say, my golly. Go back to the basics.
They'll mark this off. It'll be 3rd down and 15.
May have to go over and get another play for 15. We had our 3rd down and 10 play.
Poor Red is wondering, how did this ever happen to him? This isn't the way he trained them. All those weeks of practice during summer training, all the preseason games.
Here 4 years ago, the man didn't have a wrinkle in his face.
3rd and 15. Here comes the Oakland pass rush. Morton tries to get it over the middle. A flag is down. Trying to go to Steve Watson. He was covered by Lester Hayes and well. Holding will work against Denver. But it's 4th down, and we doubt if we will see the penalty accepted.
My gosh, they have not played well.
You are a master of understatement.
Number 62 on the offense. Penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
And Luke Prestridge comes on to punt. Ira Matthews, who's been hot tonight, moves back close to his 40-yard line. Oakland, if everything goes well, should have once again good field position. Prestridge again does not get it high, but this time he moves Matthews back to the 30. And Matthews nailed there by the special teams of Denver at the 34-yard line. Dave Preston leading the charge. What? 3:30 remaining in the game. And again, we keep talking about the importance of this game because when you get down to the twilight of the regular NFL season, you get these situations. Denver a 7-5 record. And we'll take a look at the standings. Denver, if they drop this one tonight, and they're in danger of doing just that, they can pretty much well write it off.
Remember, you're looking at the Oakland team that beat Pittsburgh 49-35 in a Monday night game.
And beat San Diego right here also. And they're struggling tonight. They're not playing good football.
But in line with their more recent play, you saw them 2 weeks ago at Seattle when they struggled to victory.
Van Egan, ball carrier, gets a yard and a half. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
I want to correct that earlier stated score. It was 45-34.
Van Egan, interesting ball player. He's always there. Carried the ball over 1,400 times. His longest run from scrimmage, 34 yards. That's a lot of bumps and bruises. Here he is again, Van Egan. Piled up out close to the 40-yard line. Gain of about 4. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Well, the task is to get Chris Bahr into field goal range.
Meanwhile, seconds are ticking off for the Denver Broncos. 2:30 and the clock is moving.
Now, I think they're going with another strategy. They're going to try to keep the ball away from Chris Bahr. They're going to run off tackle and see if they can't eat up 2 minutes and 20 seconds somewhere between the 40-yard line and the goal line. Well, that'd be a good move right
Denver
there.
has used one of their timeouts. 3rd down 4. Whittington.
Arthur.
And Whittington a little shy of the first down. So it'll be 4th down decision time for the Oakland Raiders. And Denver uses another timeout. They want to stop the clock. They tried to stop it before the 2-minute warning. But the scoreboard clock indicates that we have reached the 2-minute warning.
It would really be awful if they used that second timeout of theirs at the 2-minute warning. That figures that could happen too.
And if you want to see the most organized crowd in history, let's look at this. You ought to see these fans holding up their placards. Save our Raiders. Save our Raiders.
Discussion on the field while the placards are up as to whether or not Denver was able to stop the clock before the 2-minute warning with the timeout. Tom Flores calls referee Red Cashin over for an explanation. And we'll get the explanation to you as soon as we get it.
Hear the crowd screaming, save our Raiders.
4th down and a yard. Again, the scoreboard clock indicates 2 minutes remaining.
All those placards are showing, and while this demonstration is taking place,
Apparently the clock is not official. Timeout had been called by Denver at 2:02.
Senator Warren Magnuson of Washington State, before the recent national election, had introduced Senate Bill 8183, which would have prohibited the removal of one franchise to another city unless the removing franchise could prove 3 consecutive years of economic distress. That bill died with the adjournment of the Congress and with the election because Senator Warren Magnuson was defeated in the Reagan sweep. Let's see if somebody revives that bill.
2:02 remaining. Denver has called timeout. That means the Broncos have 1 timeout remaining. Ray Guy is on with a 4th down and 1. Oakland apparently to punt. And the delay is to, I assume, adjust the clock or to inform both benches that there is indeed 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the game. Red Miller, 3 times in his 3 years with the Broncos, he's taken them to the playoffs.
The Denver defense needs a great deal of credit, I think, tonight because they have been put in position to hold Oakland with great field position. Once again, for Denver to have any shot at all, they had to hold them right there. Kicked them back, held them down in their forcing to the punt. So Denver should have 1 more shot at it.
There's Tom Flores in his 2nd year, replacing a bit of a legend here in Oakland. Of course, I speak of John Madden. Rick Upchurch is deep for the Broncos. Guy will attempt to keep it away from him. He's a master at that. Long count, but the Broncos did not go offside. The crowd roars the approval, but they did not get the kick that they wanted, I'm quite sure. Nevertheless, they did not get the ball in the arms of Rick Upchurch, and they are going to mark it out at the 26-yard line. So Denver brings out Craig Morton. 1:58 now on the clock, and we will get the 2-minute warning. So that's the story for the Broncos. They are down 9-3. They need a touchdown and a conversion. They have 1:58. They have 1 timeout remaining. With the ball at his 26-yard line, has 1 timeout. His offense has sputtered throughout the night, and yet he's going to try and pull this together. He's done it so many times in the past for the Broncos, and he leads them up to the line of scrimmage. 1 timeout remaining. Over the middle, and it's complete to John Keyworth. He gets a first down. Not necessarily meaningful at this point. The Broncos must keep the ball in play, conserve that last timeout. A field goal, of course, will not do it. They've got to get the big one.
11, first down and 37.
Martin somehow gets it off to Keyworth, incomplete.
Well, at least that stops the clock. There's a minute 30 to go. I don't care what the final score is. The losing team will have lost it. No team has won this game.
The losing team will have lost it.
Second down and 10. Clock stop, 1:30. Denver with the 5 turnovers, the 4 missed field goals, the 1 extra point on the part of Oakland. It's an interesting game.
Not really.
Quick count by Morton. Complete, over the middle, Keyword, out over the 45 to the 46.
Complete to John Keyword.
But the
Short of
clock,
the first down.
you see the clock counting down.
Denver hurrying. Third down, a little more than 2 to go for a first. Morton picked off.
Goodbye.
Picked out off by Dwayne Osteen, the former Ram. He was there.
Went to Rod Martin's hands first.
Rod Martin was out covering the intended receiver. It was ticked into the air, and Dwayne Osteen came up with it.
He ran out of magic this time. Had a little bit of time to throw, trying to get it out to Rob Lytle. See, it was deflected. It was not Martin, as a matter of fact.
Otis McKinney.
Otis McKinney, and then Osteen was there in the back.
So now Denver can only stop the clock one time with their 1 remaining timeout. Denver, the rest of their season. Next Sunday at Kansas City, that won't be easy for them. Then they have Oakland once again at home. Then they close at Seattle. And, of course, as we mentioned for the Oakland Raiders, Dallas will be here next Sunday. Dallas, of course, now just 1 game behind the Eagles. Oakland will finish at Denver, and then they'll have the Giants. That was Van Egan working on the clock, which now shows 1 minute and 1 second as Denver has expired their timeouts. And I want to remind you that we'll be in Houston for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Houston Oilers. Both those teams locked 1 game behind the Cleveland Browns in that rugged AFC Central Division. Then we'll be on to Miami a week from tonight for the New England Patriots against the Miami Dolphins. And that AFC East race, of course, still up for grabs. Buffalo, New England. No timeouts remain. Thanks again to our spotter, Steve Bazika, Jerry Klein, statistician, research man. It's been a busy afternoon researching, running down the Heisman Trophy. Jim Plunkett, not an artistic success, but it goes as the 7th win for Oakland in 8 games.
Well, he's trying to get into field goal range.
16th victory on Monday night, too. These guys are amazing on Monday night.
Far and away the best.
They were amazing tonight, I'll tell you.
That's another way to win one.
Holding this score to 9-3. There's Al Davis again.
16 consecutive years in winning records. That is the best in the history of the NFL. Going back to the Bears of the late 30s and early 40s. There's Dwayne Osteen, starter for the Rams last year. And Plunkett falls on the football. They'll have to do it one more time. This game will be history. And the Oakland Raiders will move back into a tie in the AFC Western Division of San Diego, both with their 9-4 records. And Denver will go to 7-6.
I just say this, Skipper. They're going to have to play better than this to beat the Dallas Cowboys, that's for sure. And they're going to have to play better than they played tonight to beat that man and his team, Denver, in Mile High Stadium, because it's a different ball game there.
Final seconds ticking off. This game goes into the record book. The Oakland Raiders 9-3 over the Denver Broncos. And Oakland and San Diego, who have split, they will not meet again this season. Should they wind up in a tie, it will be determined by their record win-loss.
There it goes.
Yes, we
The Carnival
have it now with 7 losses, but they say we don't like Denver. That's why we like to play them. Here come the Broncos with the kickoff return. Larry Brunson comes out across the 10-yard line, gets it to about the 12. Now let's go to New York to NFL 80, where Brian Gemble's going to update us on the Jets. The New Orleans Saints on the first play from scrimmage. Dave Preston carries off tackle for the Broncos, gets the ball across the 15-yard line. Greg Morton starting at quarterback, but we could see Matt Robinson coming in early. Dave Preston and Jim Jensen are the runners for the Broncos. Rick Upchurch, their deep speed at one flank. Haven Movers, the veteran, at the other. And Riley Odoms, who's playing way overweight and not right now in the great pleasure of his coaching staff, is the line to the left side. Odoms has played himself right out of shape. He's trained up to about 255. He was one of the best tight ends in the league. Now they go straight ahead, and running with the ball is Jim Jensen. Here's the defensive line for the Oakland Raiders. John Matuzak at left end. Say he's having an all-pro year. The young Oklahoman, Reggie Kinlaw at middle guard. Dave Brownings at the right end. Ted Hendricks having one of his best seasons. Left outside linebacker. Matt Millen and Bob Nelson, the inside backers. Rod Martin is the other outside linebacker. Lester Hayes with 11 interceptions. He's caught more than a lot of wide receivers. Dwayne Osteen are the corners. Mike Davis and Burgess Owens are the safeties. It's first down and 10 now for the Broncos. They go right back to the run. And Preston, working hard, gets it across the 25-yard line, out close to the 28. Lester Hayes knocked him down.
Don, you know the last time these two teams played was less than a month ago. 9-3 ball game. Sometimes when you look back, having just played a team that you feel that you didn't play as well as you could against, and you see on the stats that you rushed for 90 yards but only ran the ball about 20 times, you say, hey, that's a little bit over a 4-point average. We better run the ball a little more than we did. We see Denver doing so real early. Their whole game is to pick up 5 yards on first down, put the other team in a trap, and they've done so on 2 series.
And Oakland's been a tough team to run on. Their last 3 games are giving up way under 3 yards a rush on the average on a 2nd and 5 carry. Hendricks and Hayes come up. Make the tackle. So the knockdown will be at about the 27-yard line, and that'll bring up 3rd down now for Denver. 3rd down at about 3. Oakland is, according to Red Miller, the coach of the Broncos, stops the run early, then brings in the pass rushers and the good defensive backs, stops the pass. They've been awful tough to score on, the Raiders. 3rd down and about 4 now. Morton takes a deep drop, throws over the middle. Look at that stiff. The hit is made. It's going to be close to a first down as Lester Hayes and Mike Davis converge on Dave Preston. And now let's switch back to New York to NFL 80 and Brian Gumble. Brian?
You kidding me? I thought that game was already put in the Frigidaire.
That is something. The Vikings rally back again and take the NFC Central. It's 1st and 10. The Broncos on the pass play did get the first down. Now they go to the run straight up the middle, take the ball to the 35-yard line. Dave Preston is stuck by Matt Millen, big middle backer, one of 2 in there. Millen, a rookie from Penn State. Oakland has always had ex-defensive linemen playing the middle backer. Dan Connor was a former down lineman, so was Monty Johnson in Nebraska, and so was Matt Millen. He was an All-American last year at Penn State.
He's kind of playing a down lineman as a linebacker, Donnie. You'll see that he plays the rush very hard on passes he hasn't developed as he will in the next couple years.
Awful big, playing almost 260. Dave Preston gets the call again and takes the ball out across the 35-yard line and close to the 40. On a 2nd down and 7 carry, he's going to bring up 3rd down now for the Broncos in about 3. Nelson was on the stop. Preston's given the ball 5 times already early in the game, and he's gained 17 yards. Red Miller coaching his first Bronco team that will not be in the playoffs. It's had 2 divisional champions in the previous 3 years, and of course the one team that went to the Super Bowl. It's 3rd down and a long 2 now for the Broncos, just short of their 40. Morton stands in, throws out of the backfield, makes the connection. Rob Lytle comes it up down the corner and gets inside the Oakland 40. Rod Martin finally gets him, John.
And what he did is he fooled Rod Martin because Martin was looking at the near back. Now Lytle was the back away from his side. The backs crisscrossed at the snap of the ball. He got Rod Martin to get out of play. Now watch, see the backs crossing each other? Martin thinks his back's gone. Following right in his path is Lytle. It's called a little trail pass. Once in a while you fool a linebacker. Obviously they saw something in the pictures that would indicate Martin to do so.
So So a 22-yard connection. Craig Morton to Rob Lytle, the former Michigan runner. And the Raiders now starting to mount a challenge on their first possession. They took the opening kickoff. Now they've taken it down to the 38-yard line of Oakland. Right back to the run. Nothing there. Oakland shuts it down. Dave Preston got the call, and Matuzak, 6'8", 280 pounds, hit it.
Donnie, the impressive thing in the first drive is, number one, the Oakland Raider defense has not bent. You know, it hasn't broken, but it hasn't even bent. It's been playing very well early, the last 8 or 9 ball games. It's been the total dominant force for the Raiders and has really put them in a playoff picture. Their offense has sputtered. If any indication of what's going to happen throughout the afternoon is what's been done by Denver early, the best part of their group is a little suspect.
Well, we'll see as they go right back to the run now in a 2nd down and 8 play. Dave Preston gets the call and takes it down close to the 36. You're talking about how well they're playing, John. In the last 3 games, the Oakland defense has not allowed 1 third down completion against 3 pretty good opponents.
Well, today they've allowed 2.
Yeah. Denver came out throwing. Denver has not had much offense this year. Last week they had a bad second quarter. Turnovers have really hurt the Broncos. They've had 11 in the last 2 games. They were a playoff contender until a couple of weeks ago. They were 7-5. Then lost consecutively to Oakland on a Monday night. And last week at Kansas City, 31-14. On 3rd down and 8, Morton stands in, loops it out there, and Haven Moses can't quite get to the ball.
I tell you, you know, lots of times what you don't see on your television screen has created a turnover. Morton's got Haven Moses all the way across the field. He's going to hit him easily. But Cedric Hardman, one of the finest pass rushers that's played this game ever. He and Ted Hendricks been putting a lot of games together. You can see Cedric goes to the outside, just enough pressure. Actually, number 73 hit his own man, forced Morton to go high, and they've got to turn it over.
And now we have one of the really great long-range kickers in pro football, a former Oakland Raider, Fred Steinfort, out of Boston College, ready to attempt a long field goal. They're going to hold. Matt Robinson will at the 44-yard line. Oops,
what's this?
He's looking to throw.
Oh, he's got him.
This will go the distance. Burgess Owens picks it off. It's a foot race, and Burgess Owens wins going away. So the Broncos go to the well with a trick play, and Burgess Owens takes it away from Riley Odom and goes the distance, 63 yards and a touchdown.
And, you know, it was a play that was devised to be a flea flicker where Robinson comes out and throws the ball back. But in the meantime, Jim Jensen had beaten his man all the way down in the end zone. For some reason, Robinson never put his attention on him. As a result, 7 points went the wrong way. Okay, here comes Robinson. Jensen is going down the field. I don't know if he was looking for him, but he never found him. Going out to Riley Odoms. Comes up with the white shirt. Burgess Owens slips it in for 6 points, and the Raiders get off fast when it looks like they were down on the floor.
Burgess was sure open, wasn't he? Burgess Owens takes it the distance. Officially, it's a 58-yard return, and the Raiders are on the board. The extra point by Chris Bahr is drilled up and good, and so the Raiders strike quickly with their offense not get on the field. A trick play by the Broncos off a fake field goal, and Burgess Owens intercepts in the flat, takes it 58 yards for a touchdown.
And look at Matt Robinson, couldn't be feeling any worse. He hasn't played much in the last 5 or 6 games, only 1 series of plays. Now he comes in, he gets a chance to kind of get off the schneid himself because he'd like to make something good happen. He knows he had great expectations when he came out here, hasn't really been used, and it's got to be heartbreaking. On the other side of the coin, this man's all smiles.
He really is, and that was the 32nd team interception by the Raiders this season. They're number 1 in the NFL. Washington second with 28 and Dallas third with 27. Burgess Owens, his 3rd interception of the year, and it was a big one. Now San Diego Chargers are watching with great interest, hoping Denver can come up with a win here today.
And Don, we have not mentioned a 26-point differential could be a factor if this game gets out of control. We'll get to it a little later.
Now the kickoff in the mile-high atmosphere of Denver, Colorado by Bahr. Drives Brunson deep in the end zone. He doesn't bring it out. Comes out to the 20 on a touchback. 1st and 10. You have to admire Bud Grant and his Vikings. They were seemingly out of it early in the season, and then when the Cleveland Browns appeared to have them put away today, they rally back. Tommy Kramer, 3 touchdown throws in the 4th quarter.
I mean, how many times has Tommy Kramer done it to people? I saw him do it to San Francisco 3 or 4 times. Every time they're ready to make a replacement for him, he comes off with a great ball game. It's only a guy that has great confidence in his own ability that can do a thing like that, and my hat's off to him.
Here's a throw, and the strike is made. A perfect connection. We'd like to welcome all of you now who've been watching the Vikings and the Cleveland Browns. This is Don Criqui with John Brody at Mile High Stadium in Denver, where the Oakland Raiders, with their offense not yet on the field, lead the game 7-0. The Broncos try to fake field goal. The pass by Matt Robinson was intercepted and subsequently returned 58 yards for a Raider touchdown by Burgess Owens at 7-0 game. Now the Broncos with their second possession, they have the ball just short of their 40. It's a great day in Denver. Temperature in the 70s. Unseasonably warm for December. Clear sunny skies, Mile High sold out for the 80th consecutive home game of the Broncos. Now the Raiders shut down the run as Rob Lytle tries to go wide.
And I'll tell you, it's a rare time indeed when they stuff their middle linebacker, Matt Millen, and still get the sort of pursuit that they did outside. You can tell a team that respects a linebacker by how many people hit him. First Odom, then Jensen. They're going to make sure he doesn't get in on the play. He's been their big playmaker against the run over this whole year, and it's rare when a rookie even plays at middle linebacker, and he's played it very well.
He's getting some attention. Big Matt Millen, who came to camp at 271. They brought him down to about 255, starting as a rookie. So now it's going to be second down and about 14. Loss on the play. Handoff goes to Lytle. On a slant play, he comes across the 35-yard line, gets to about the 38. The offensive alignment for the Denver Broncos: Craig Morton, the 16-year veterans at quarterback, Preston and Jens runner. Pass catchers for the Broncos: Upchurch and Moses, the wide receivers, Riley Odoms at tight end. Interior blockers: Studdard, Glassick, Bryant, Howard, and Minor. It's third down and 11 now for Denver. We're in the first quarter. 7:40 to play in it, and the clock is running, and the Oakland Raiders lead the game 7-0. Morton stands in, lofts one downfield. There's the veteran Haven Moses. Out of bounds at Drew.
Tried to catch him in between the seam, Don. Just took a little too much off the ball. Had to get it over the first man's head. That's the first mistake the Denver offense has made. The Denver defense hasn't been on the field. It's 7-0.
It's our first punt of the game now. Ira Matthews back deep for the Raiders. Some big scores in today. They're all big coming down the stretch with a lot of teams vying for the playoffs. Houston beating Green Bay 22-3. Pittsburgh scoring twice in the fourth quarter to stay alive, beating Kansas City 21-16. Luke Prestridge, who hits it a long way. He's the second punter in the AFC. Drills a line drive way downfield. Ira Matthews at his 6. Here he comes. 15 to the 20, and Matthews turns the corner, gets across the 30, and is run out of bounds at the 31-yard line. So the Raiders send their offense on the field for the first time as they're in the lead. 7-0. The punt 55 yards, but Matthews brought it back 25. We'll be back at Mile High Stadium after this. Back at Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado, Don Criqui with John Brody. The Oakland Raiders offense just coming out on the field. They've not yet had the ball for a play from scrimmage, and they lead the game 7-0 on Burgess Owens' 58-yard return of an intercepted pass. So we got something good going here right now as the Raiders looking to keep pace with San Diego. Plunkett at quarterback. Handoff goes to Arthur Whittington right up the middle, and he takes the ball to the 35-yard line. The Oakland offensive lineup: Jim Plunkett at quarterback. Arthur Whittington in the starting backfield and replacing Kenny King. Mark Van Egan is the fullback. The wide receivers for the Raiders: Cliff Branch will be on one flank, Bob Chandler on another. Raymond Chester's the tight end. And those great big Oakland blockers who do such a great job: Shell, Upshaw, Dalby, Marvin, and Lawrence. Now Plunkett with time throws in the flat, and it almost went the other way with Broncos picking it off. Here's a throw though to Arthur Whittington on a second down and 6 play that gets ahead across the 50 and down to the 47-yard line, an 18-yard gain.
Don, how he even picked him up was amazing to me, because he was looking straight down the field. He had to know Whittington was standing out on the sideline, and then to be able to tell he had enough room to get the ball in there was another feat, because he had to look over his blockers at this point. He comes to him late. I like the fact that the throw sometimes tell you something. He came out and fired the ball. I haven't seen him putting a lot on the ball in recent weeks, and I think when he's firing it good and hard, they're a lot more effective.
Well, the Raider offense has been down in recent weeks. Now they go to Van Egan on a 1st and 10 play, and he takes the ball down close to the 45-yard line. They were talking, John, about the Raider defense probably playing as well as it ever has. They said the Raider offense might have left for L.A. already, though, the last 3 weeks.
And Oakland, a first and goal, the ball near the 8-yard line. Remember, the first half, they had a first and goal at the 6. Plunkett on a rollout. He ought to be able to run it in. He did it. Jim Plunkett rolling out and runs into the corner of the end zone. Tom Jackson pulled him down from behind, but Plunkett gets in, and Oakland is on the scoreboard, and they take the lead.
He had Big Joe Campbell. You see Greg Boyd, number 77, read it, but he read it a little bit late. He's trying to come back on the outside. Plunkett says, let's just get it in gear and go the best I can. Number 57 is Jackson, is the guy that makes the move there. Oh, they're trying to say you didn't make it, but he did.
You had to wonder when they were going to capitalize.
Out comes Chris Bahr for the conversion, and that extra dimension that Plunkett gives a football team, the ability to move around, run the football, has put Oakland on the scoreboard.
Oh, he missed it.
I don't believe it.
Chris Bahr misses the conversion. Earlier, he had missed a chip shot field goal from 36 yards out. And that makes an interesting set of numbers on the scoreboard. The Oakland Raiders leading the Denver Broncos 6-3. We'll be returning to Oakland in just a moment. Chris Bahr hooks it on the conversion attempt. Missing the conversion. Oakland has the lead 6-3. Bahr set to kick off. Deep is Larry Brunson, who a year ago was returning kickoffs for the Oakland Raiders. As a matter of fact, led the NFL a year ago for the Raiders in this department. This will be Larry Brunson. Brunson hurdles out over the 30-yard line. It'll be first attempt for Denver at the 31-yard line. We have another special guest Howard wants to have a word with.
All right, here is young Mike.
Was to go on, so I learned from them.
Okay, Mike. Good to have you with us. Frank.
On first down, Jim Jensen gets around the corner, out to the 36-yard line. Jensen with a gain of 5 yards, taken there by Mike Davis defensively for the Oakland Raiders. It'll be second down and 5. Now they mark it up over the 36, so we'll call it second down 4.
Test here, of course, is for Craig Morton to reassume offensive momentum in the face of the score just achieved by the Raiders.
Rob Lytle comes in for Denver, number 41. Former great All-American from Michigan. Knee surgery a year ago and troubles again with the other knee this year.